to GREYS, your one-stop shop to finding winners across Australia from the world of greyhound racing. Host David Shortte is joined by Harry Buchanan from the Greyhound Insider, Jaycin Campbell to look at Queensland and Tasmanian chasing, Hall of Famer Neil Brown, Sean Matheson looking at South Australian chasing, New South Wales expert Simon Orchard, and the Shane Train Williams rounds it out with his key plays and kennel mail in WA. Now, over to the team for this week's edition of GREYS.
Good morning and welcome along to GREYS on this Thursday morning, the 2nd of May 2024. David Shortte with you. Hope you're travelling particularly well. Got a busy hour coming up, getting around the nation to find all the winners from the world of chasing. Over the next little patch, Harry Buchanan will be with us to open up the batting. Then we'll hear from Jaycin Campbell. Neil Brown, the Hall of Famer, will join us to have a look at the latest there at Sandown tonight. Sean Matheson looking at South Australian chasing. Simon Orchard with a look at New South Wales chasing. Rounded it out with the Shane Train. Quite a few races for broadcast through the program as well today. Punters will give you plenty of updates and notice on when those races will be run. The next race for a broadcast here on TAB Radio comes up in just 7 minutes' time. We will be bringing you the first from Wyong, and in that race, Can't Fail, the current favourite at $2.30 in front of Montgomery, $2.65, and Hong Kong Harmony at $5.50. Let's go to Harry Buchanan, though, now to open things up. Welcome to you, H.
Yeah, good morning, Shorty. Good morning, listeners. Good to be with you this morning, mate.
Yeah, nice to be with you. We had an excellent running of the Warrnambool Cup. Of course, the Warrnambool Racing Carnival continues on today. You'll hear all the action right here live on TAB Radio. But the Greyhound version last night was an absolute ripper. We had 3 runners from the Sandgroper contesting. They finished 2nd, 3rd and 4th in the big final there last night. It was Matlock for Michelle Mallier, though, who was too good for Morton, who finished runner-up. Trooper Tears back in 3rd and Fernando Phil in 4th position. A very competitive running of the Warrnambool Cup.
Yeah, it certainly was, Shorty. He's a very good dog, this bloke, Matlock. 24.99 last night, and the way he went about it was just superb. He's got excellent Warrnambool form, and he's a young dog, an up-and-coming dog that's just sort of probably not as experienced as his counterparts last night. And 25 starts, 12 wins tells the story. And, yeah, just the way he went about it. It's not easy to race away from those dogs, but in the end he had 2.5 to spare on the line, and that speaks volumes of the win, considering who was in the rear vision mirror. And Trooper Tears, Morton, Fernando Phil, they all went okay. Morton probably the run of the race of the beaten brigade, but that winner, Short, he's a very, very good dog. Really keen to see him get around 2 turns now. He's predominantly been a 1-turn dog, but he's got a lot of ability, this bloke, and he will certainly make the grade if he can handle that 2-turn track.
Most definitely, but the news to come out of it, just keep following that Sandgroper form, because there are all of those dogs coming out of those races going particularly well. Big Energy will be going around later on tonight. We get to follow Big Energy there. Of course, Sunset Frazier going around again on the weekend here locally. We'll follow all of those dogs. Hector Fawley was a great winner last week as well. And a couple to jot down India Black Book punters. If you follow your WA chasing, there's been a couple of dogs find their way heading up north to Darwin. And overnight, there are a couple of really impressive winners from ex-Sandgropers that you can jot into your black book. Sailor Jim took out the first there last night, and deeper into the card, Joe the Lion went around. They're 2 dogs that both won last night there at Winnelli Park, and they look like they'll be the sort of dogs that can win plenty of races heading forward up there in the top end. So keep those in mind if you're looking for a couple to follow from WA heading up there to Darwin. H, let's get into the action for tonight. A busy program at Sandown. Who do you fancy on this card?
Yeah, I'm going to kick it off early, Shorty, in race 2. I've been following this dog, King Eternal. He's around $10 at the moment, Tab Touch. He's a good each-way bet here. I just think his lack of early speed is probably going to play into his hands here. I know the red's going to be really hard to stop. Zipping Kai, 29.82 Meadows winner. But, look, if that dog makes an error, and he's not the best of beginners, the red, even though he does out of the box, I just thought the 4, if he was close enough, he could run into the frame here, and he's got a really good solid middle and last section on him. I just don't know about a couple of these dogs off the arm. So we'll kick it off with him in race 2. Go over to race 7. Crackerjack Boom. He was outstanding last week. I thought the run and the win was full of merit running down Aston Figaro, 29.47. he just needs a little bit of room to operate. When he gets it, he's a very capable dog, a depth right up to 600 metres. It's not an easy field. This, is, of course, is a final, and they all went around last week. But I just think courtesy of the draw here, at the very least, he can be sitting on funny old fellow and Hi There Frank, and very strong in the run home. And finish it off in race 12 here, right down to number 7, Cabello Jasper. One of these dogs out of this litter we've been following, there's about 12 or 13 of them in the litter, and they're all very capable, big, strong sprinters. I like this bloke, 30 and 12 at the Meadows, 2 starts ago. He hasn't hit his straps at Sandown yet with the 2 runs, but I'm expecting him to go well tonight. Meatball Molly hard to stop in box 5. A couple of reserves go in and get a run. They're big prices. I just think out wide here. When the dogs, all of these Cabello dogs, when they get that room to operate in the middle of the track, they're very hard to stop when they get wound up. That'll be the case tonight. Race 2, number 4. Race 7, number 3. Race 12, number 7 at Sandown this evening, Shorty.
Very nice. So 3 plays there tonight. Yeah, those Cabello dogs, once they do get that room to wind up, big engines. Hopefully we get to see that tonight in the last with the 7 rug there. Cabello Jasper. Minute 30 to get your bets on here for the first of the day at Wyong Punters. The Bella Group maiden plate over the 2100 metres. They're going round on a heavy 10 surface there. Bear that in mind if you're looking to have a punt today. The markets certainly, though, with Can't Fail, Montgomery and Hong Kong Harmony 8, 4 and 1. The key runners from a market perspective, though, a minute to get your bets on there. We'll make a start on Mandurah tonight. H, the first of your plays comes up late in the program, last leg of the quaddie.
Yeah, I'm pretty keen on the second half of the program tonight, Shorty. I don't mind uncompromising race 8 here. He's really consistent around this track. He does a lot of his racing here, obviously, with the 26 starts and 5 wins. Ran into Cup Model last week and took good ground off that dog, and that's one that I do like earlier on the card. I just thought with the dog inside Exvidential, it's the slowest beginner I've ever seen going around Mandurah. He's going to land really close here, and look, I just think it's a really winnable race for him, considering some of the dogs he's been racing, right back to Apache Havoc and Heart Emoji, girls like you. You've got a strong form line. You can go back further to Sunset Serengeti. Consistent performer will give us a great sight there in race number 8. Over to race 9.
H, I'll just get you to put a pause on things there, H.
Even.
You're listening to Great GREYS on Tab Radio.
Well, it's now 13 minutes after 10. We're catching up with Harry Buchanan, having a look at his thoughts for tonight there at Mandurah. The first of his plays was race 8, number 3. The best of them comes up in race 9.
Yeah, Timmy Time Bomb. I think tonight's the night, Shorty, and I like the way he's drawn here outside Opal Deluxe. He missed the start last week. That's not like him. We're going to rely on him coming out his usual best, and if he does, I think he can at least track the checks up here, and he'd be too strong on the run home. Healthy respect for 8 Ohana sit down. The 3 of them should fight it out, but I'm going to stick with Timmy. Over to race 10, number 8, Granite County. Look, they all get their chance to win this race. It's as limited as it gets. I know he's only won 3 from 50, but he's raced much better dogs than this. Good effort last week when he was second up from a spell. He just has to stick his head out at the right time, this dog, but he will hit the frame. Finish it off in race 12 here. I know you're keen on the Sing Man, Aussie Sing Man. Well, I'm going to take him on here with Molotov Boy. Sunset Nightjar, Sunset Serengeti, Wise Barra. You can keep going well back, and this dog has either beaten them or run second to them. 15 starts, track and trip, 4 and 6. He's very, very good, this dog. I just think he's the best dog in the race, and if he gets any sort of luck at all, he'll be the one to stop. Race 8, number 3. Race 9, number 3. Race 10, number 8. Race 12, number 6 at Mandurah this evening, Shorty.
Beautifully done, H. Moving in nicely here for race number 3 of the day at Warrnambool Punters, and currently our market sees number 2 on top here in race number 3 of the day. H, just quickly, the 7:15 at the Gardens this weekend. Who are you liking, the big one there?
Yeah, it's a ripper race. I think there's only 3 hopes. It's between the one dog, Valpolicella, Kenya Amy, and Outside Raiders Guide, the Tasmanian. I love him. I think he's a great dog. 41.52 last week. I haven't narrowed it down. It's probably going to be from the outside too, though. Kenya Amy, I thought, was also outstanding. I think at 1, 7 and 8, tune into the male collection. We'll nail that right down, but the winner will come from one of those 3, Shorty.
Beautifully done, Harry. Appreciate your time as always. We'll hear from you tomorrow morning on TAB Radio on the Sports Daily. Then we'll team up for the male collection tomorrow afternoon. Till then, many winners.
Talk then. Thanks, Shorty.
Matty, race 3 at Warrnambool, just about ready to go.
Touch. This is your home of the Greyhound Good Oil, Great GREYS.
Well, it's time to catch up with Jaycin Campbell. Have a look at the big program tonight up there at Albion Park. G'day, JC.
Hey, Shorty. How you going, mate?
Really well, thank you. Great to have your company on this Thursday morning. Interesting program tonight up there at the Creek.
Yeah, Brisbane Young Gun Heat Night. Always a very, very good series to tune into, just to see future dogs coming through the ranks in Queensland. And obviously, hopefully in 3 to 6 months' time, those dogs can go down and compete in races such as the $1 Million Chase or even like a Melbourne Cup or whatnot, like dogs like Jay's Jay, All Natural, those type of dogs. They've all come through this series, and there's just a cracking 4 heats once again. You've got dogs such as Sanvi, August Bob, Duffman, Kia Kaha, and Kalo Hayes. So those are the 5 dogs definitely to keep an eye on tonight.
Yeah, some really talented young sprinters strutting their stuff tonight there at Albion Park. Who have you landed on as your best plays for this evening?
Yeah, got to kick off in the first race, Shorty. Happy to play the yellow rug here, number 5, Hoshino. I thought he was really good on debut, and he was heavily supported into favourites. He won and run 13.43. He betted that time last week in defeat to Golden Bear, who we get to see run around in a young gun heat later on in the night. But he didn't shirk the task. I know he was beaten 5.5 lengths, but he made up good ground from the back, and he beat home a key rival here in number 6, Cheers for Bella. I just feel like this is a bit of a drop back in grade. Obviously no Golden Bear in this race. I think this dog's capable of going a lot quicker than what he's shown so far. So as long as he can get a clear run through that first corner, he should be extremely hard to hold out late.
All right, race 1, the yellow rug Hoshino. Moving on to the next of your plays?
Yeah, in the first of 4 young gun heats, number 3 here, August Bob. Good to see Tony Brett back in the training ranks. Hopefully he hasn't forgotten how to train a winner, but I'm sure he hasn't. His first runner in 2024 for Mr. Brett, and he's got a pretty good dog in his hands here in August Bob. He was a very good winner 3 starts ago at Wentworth Park in a flying 29.35, beating home Nadal Sheba in a heat of the Golden Easter Egg. Has since had no luck from tricky draws in both semi-final and its last start from box 8. He should be very hard to beat here. I thought there's not a lot of speed drawn inside him. I think he can cross them early, and from there should be, as I mentioned, extremely hard to beat.
All righty, so the second of the plays tonight there, race 5, number 3. The greyhound that's made quite the impression in New South Wales, now in great care there with Tony Brett. He's been a star trainer for so many years, and this dog is likely to do some very good things up there in Queensland on what we've seen in New South Wales, and you're saving the best till last.
Yeah, I like to do that here, Shorty. And once again, the open race, best 8 race, all natural. Not really saying anything anyone doesn't know. This dog's an absolute superstar, and he's racing career best order. He was very short in betting, realistically, in the Golden Easter Egg. He only started 750 from a really tricky box, I thought, box 6. He had absolutely no luck at the start of the race. He got jammed from the outside and from in. Heads back to his little fortress at Albion Park, where he's had 23 starts with 13 wins. And more importantly, Shorty, of his last 8 starts over this track and trip, he's won 7 races, with the only defeat being in that Gold Bullion final against Morton, who was obviously a bit unlucky last night in the Warrnambool Cup, but he was only beaten a nostril in that affair, and I think he gets back to a very winnable race here. He's been well supported in betting, just drawn perfectly once again here. Box 6, Bears Bullet, she has good speed, wants to dart back to the rails, and Volante in box 8. He's a bit of a dangly dog that likes to use the track, so there's no reason why All Natural can't get clear room to move early, and to be frank, he probably doesn't even need it to win in this company. He's just better than them.
All right, so that is stamped as the BB. Race 9, number 7, All Natural to go along with race 1, number 5, Hoshino, and race 5, number 3, August Bob for Jaycin Campbell tonight up there at Albion Park. Anything else from the camp running over the next week or so to keep an eye out for, Jace?
Not really, Shorty, but keen on Valpolicella in the 7.15. I was listening to you and Harry finish up there about 5 minutes ago, and I can't wait to watch the 7.15. It's a cracking race. Raiders Guide, Valpolicella, Tanya Amy. Richard Pipe was good also in a first up for 4 months. So really keen to watch that race. That's going to be a key form race for future races such as the Sandown Cup.
Big style, yeah, it's a cracker. The richest staying race, $500,000 up for grabs, and it's drawn together an excellent field. So looking forward to that this weekend, the 7.15 there at the Gardens. Beautifully done, Jace. Appreciate your time as always. Good luck tonight up there at Albion Park.
Thanks, Shorty. You too, mate.
There we have it. Jaycin Campbell here on TAB Radio giving us his thoughts for tonight's chasing there at Albion Park. Only got 2 and a bit minutes to go until our next race for broadcast here. It'll be race number 1 of the day at Wagga. Having a look at the market as it sits right now, and with Tab Touch on the fixed odds markets, we have an even money favourite, Snow in May, 220 into even money on the second line. Take the Rat, 480 into $3. Yes, Isla, yes, $5 out to $6.50. Good support for Duke Calzini. Double figure odds, 23, as big as 26, now into $8.50. So it's been well specced at longer odds. Conjoined, 16 out to 18. Lunalas, 20 out to 34. Volare, 101, as big as 151, now 71. And Ruby Doby is 91 out to $101. Snow in May, 220 into $2. Take the Rat, 480 into $3. And Duke Calzini, 23 into $8.50, along with that little move at longer odds there for a Volare, the horses to trim up for race number 1 of the day there at Wagga. Comes up in a minute's time from now. The Sheathers Painting and Decorating 2-year-old Showcase Handicap over the 1,200 metres. Matty, any divs to clear from the last there at Warrnambool?
1 by 6, Extreme Flight, 11.10, $4.50. 2 Home Rule, $2. No div for 3, My Yankee Girl. Quidella, $18.50. Exacta, $48. 132, the Trifecta. 6, 2, 3 and 7, first 4 div, $738.40. 11.6 double returns you $162.50 with the sub of 2, 1, 9, 10 and 11 scratched. And at Wyong, paying on race number 1, it is correct weight, and there's a release of div now at Warrnambool as well, tote to pay. So at Wagga, still a few to move in.
You are tuned into Shorty and the team on GREYS.
Well, it's now 24 minutes after 10. We'll welcome in our Hall of Famer, Neil Brown, before we throw to this particular race at Wagga. When we return, we'll get his thoughts for the early quaddie, the quaddie, and his best bets tonight at Sandown. G'day, Brownie. How do we find you on this Thursday?
Oh, very well, David. Happy to find a bit of form last week with some winners, and hope we can continue tonight on a good solid card and lovely weather conditions here in Melbourne. And we had a mighty Warrnambool Cup last night. Great result for Michelle Mellier. She's a great trainer, and her dad Charlie was as well way back in the 70s. So good result down there. And we had pups for Wow She's Fast, David, too. 9 pups to Bella, the Bella Infrared, the United States stud dog. So a lot of excitement around that happening this week as well.
Big time, yeah, great news in greyhound racing. We also saw Hector Fawley win the run of the month for that performance in the Sandgroper as well. So plenty going on in the world of greyhound racing. Great to see Wow She's Fast with those healthy puppies, and look forward to seeing those hit the track in the months and years to come. We might throw back to Maddie here. They're moving in pretty nicely here, Maddie, for the first of the day at Wagga over 1,200 metres. When we return, we'll get Neil's thoughts for Sandown tonight.
This is GREYS on Tab Radio. Go, you good thing.
Man, looking to find us a few good things on this Thursday is Neil Brown. Brownie, let's get into this quaddie tonight there at Sandown. Quite a good program this evening. How are we playing this early quad?
Yeah, I haven't gone too wide, David. First leg, race number 1's a good solid maiden final. 3, 1 and 8 for me. I've got Back in Style on top. Won quite well in the heats on Sunday, and I think it's the greyhound to beat. Race number 2, 515 metre here, mixed stake. I've got the red on top, Zipping Kaya, to beat 3 and 2. Just going to take those 3 drawn on the inside in the second leg of the early quad. In race number 3 here, we've got a 515 metre grade 5, and I thought Mapunga Tully might be the greyhound to beat. And I've got the 3 runners drawn on the inside. I'm going to take 3, 2 and 1 as the real chances. And in the 4th leg of the quaddie, over the 595, a mixed stake here. Really keen about Jamie Bale winning. And I've got him on top to beat 2 and 8, taking them for insurance in the early quad. Moving into the main quad, we've got 2 715 metre races in races 5 and 6 tonight, which is an indication the Sandown Cup's around the corner. So to have 2 distance races on the card, very tough first leg of the quaddie. I'm going to take 4 in it, 5, 7, 6 and 3. I think they've all got chances. I do like the Stellar Girl. Good, solid form line here. Has been placed 5 times from 11 starts. Probably due for a win here at Sandown Park, and probably looks the best of this group of greyhounds over the distance. But certainly chances out wide to Mapunga Loaf. I think's a chance there, and Ernie the Brute. And I think the 3 Big Smoke Foxes also could have a bit of luck in running. Has one here in 42.74, 5.763 in the first leg. Again over the 7.15 in grade 5, race number 6. I'm going to take the 3 runners here, 8, 2 and 5. I've got Unreal Speed on top. Won 5 these last 6 in very good form. A good effort last start at the Meadows. He's in very good hands indeed at Robert Britton's kennel. And I think the dangers are Sunshine Joe from box number 2 and the 5 Emily Zoe. But a couple of them, Emily Zoe having first start over the distance. If you can go a little bit wider, you might like to throw the 3 in. It's got certainly some claims, but they're pretty wide open, the 2 7.15 metre races. Race number 7 is the GOTBA Cup final tonight. These greyhounds qualified in the heats last Thursday night. It's a really good race. Sandown hosting the GOTBA each year for this night. And we've got a good crew in tonight for dinner. 2, 3 and 4 for me. He's really racing well, funny old fella. He found he was pretty short, about $1.30 last week. 29.31 was his best time recorded here. He's in really good form for Peter Craig. I think he's the winner. But Crackerjack Boom racing quite well, won his last couple, and Hi There Frank also won his last couple as well. So it's a really good competitive final, just like the time that funny old fellow returned from that inside draw last week, and he's got the 2 again tonight. 2, 3, 4 in a good race. And again, the free-for-all, finishing off the quaddy race number 8. Excellent race here. And I've taken 7, 6 and 2. Very hard to go past Big Energy. I haven't missed it. He's about $1.85, but perhaps the right price. He loves Sandown Park. Just missed the start in the Sandgroper and got into midfield there. But great record here, 10 and 3 from 17. He's always hard to beat at Sandown Park, and I think he might be hard to beat again tonight, but it is very short. Yarchi Bailey's super form. Didn't lose any fans last week with a good effort in that free-for-all race. And Shimmer Current, I think, from the inside, very honest type, a winner here in good time. A 7, 6 and 2 we'll take in the free-for-all. So, yeah, we'll need a bit of luck in those first couple of distance races, David, but I think we might be able to find a winner not too difficult to find in races 7 and 8. My best bet, go back to race number 4. I do like Jamie Bale. I think he's perfectly drawn in 1. He's got enough early pace to lead, and around the 250 mark, I've made him the best bet on the card tonight. Race 4, number 1, Jamie Bale. So good luck and good punting on what will be a good solid card of racing at Sandown Park tonight.
You're listening to Great Greys on Tab Radio.
Where it's time to get across to South Australia and catch up with our man Sean Matheson, having a look at an excellent night of chasing there at Angle Park. Welcome to you, Sean. How do we find you on this Thursday?
Yeah, terrific. Thanks, David. Yeah, great to be on the show again. Really looking forward to tonight's meeting. As you mentioned, a good 12-race program. The showdowns here in Adelaide, so in between goals, I'm sure everyone will be looking at Angle Park to try and get a winner or two.
Absolutely, yeah. The battle lines are drawn. Are you an Adelaide or Port Adelaide man, Sean?
It's probably a longer discussion, David. I'm actually neither. I love the passion that the supporters have, but I've never really committed to one or the other. I used to be a Central District man back in the day, so if anything, lean a little bit to the Crows, but just hopefully looking for a decent game.
All righty. Well, one thing that can keep you ticking along between goals there in the big one tonight is a few winners at Angle Park. You've been seeing them well for us in recent times. Who do you like on tonight's 12-race card?
Okay, well, I've got a bit of value for the listeners tonight. So the first of my best bets comes up in the first race, and it's number 7, Keep It Zipped for Richard Pearce. Around that $7 mark, he was a really good run last week when running third in a heat of this series. Drew an inside draw, found himself a fair way back, but was running home really well and pretty much has run home better than any other dog in this field, but goes to a wider draw. The key for him, other than beginning a little bit better, is the 6 dog Presley, which I think can come out running. And if Presley can come out running, it might give Keep It Zipped just that a bit of a card across. And if Keep It Zipped can find himself midfield, I think, work his way towards the rail, I think he can be right in this race at the finish. It's a really even field, and he has the best run home. But the key for him will be early in the race, but that's why you're getting $7 about him.
All righty, a bit of value to kick off the night. Race 1, the Black Rug, Keep It Zipped. Next of your plays?
Next of the plays comes up in race 8, and it's number 2, Lakeview Lana for Damien Smith. Again, pretty good value here, David, quoted at around $8.50. This is a final at Angle Park, and the heats were run at Murray Bridge last week. And she ran 4th in her heat, but she actually showed really good speed early in the event, wasn't able to cross, and found herself sort of spat out the back a little bit, back to last, and then came around the field to run a pretty handy 4th, I thought. I just think at Angle Park, she's drawn 2. She should cross the 1 Aquila, and I don't necessarily think there's anyone going to cross her. So I think if she can just find the front on the first turn, I think she'll find herself really hard to beat out in front. She comes here with some decent Victorian form, has had a 3rd at Murray Bridge, and as mentioned, a good 4th last week in the heat. So I just think that if she shows that sort of speed tonight, she'll lead, and I think she'll give a big sight.
All righty, so the former Big V chaser, Lakeview Lana at a nice each-way quote, $8.50 and $2.35, race 8, number 2, and the third play for tonight at Angle Park?
Third of the play is in the last race, David, and it's number 2, Victor Chrissy for Ron Shadow. Looks an absolute two-dog race on paper with the 1 Ferocious Ivy for Ben Rawlings, but if anyone saw Victor Chrissy's run last start where she was powerful in the run home. She went 30.62, a moderate early section, but just her run tone was amazing. Pretty much a similar time to Ferocious Ivy, who'll do all the running in the lead. But I just think Victor Chrissy, she's going to get clear running. She's going to chase Ferocious Ivy down. I just see her getting over the top of her in the end. And she's 2.10 at the even money quote. I think she'll give a really big sight.
Like it. Sending us home with the check rug in race 12, number 2, Victor Chrissy, to go along with race 1, number 7 each way at the good price, Keep It Zipped, and similar for race 8, number 2, Lakeview Alana. Off to Gawler for Friday afternoon chasing, and we've also got a big Sunday afternoon there at Murray Bridge. Who do you like on those 2 cards?
So just 1 each for those, David. Gawler tomorrow, race 1, number 2, Bayer's Jinx for Mike Giniotis. She's had 2 runs back from a spell, ran 4th at Gawler and then 6th at Angle Park over 5.30. She steps up to the 6.43. She has won a couple of races over the 6.43. I just think that she finds her in a decent race here. She should be able to almost jump to the front here. And with that, she just needs to recapture a little bit of her absolute best form, and she'll be winning this. I think she'll be not too bad value, so I think she'll go really close at Gawler on tomorrow. And then we're off to Murray Bridge, as you mentioned, Murray Bridge on Sunday night. I like race 6, number 8, Silk Sonic for Tim Richards. Has been doing a little bit of racing at Angle Park over the 5.30 metres. Back to Murray Bridge over the 3.95. Has been placed there about 5 runs ago. A wide draw suits, has won 3 and placed 5 for 11 starts. So a really good record from a wide draw, and the big wide open spaces should suit Silk Sonic. Hopefully get the win for us.
All righty, a mouthful on Sunday. Race 6, number 8, Silk Sonic, to get the job done late on a Sunday afternoon. Good time to find a winner there as well. Beautifully done, Sean. Thanks for joining us this morning here on Great Greys. To yourself and all the team across there in South Australia, enjoy the showdown tonight. No doubt it will be a beauty as always, and good luck. We'll be cheering hard for Keep It Zipped, Lakeview Lana and Victor Chrissy tonight there at Angle Park. Go well.
Thanks, David. Always appreciate your time.
There we have it. Sean Matheson talking all things South Australian chasing. Matty, we might swing back to you. We're around about 5 minutes away from the next of the day at Warrnambool, race number 4 on the program there, and then we'll catch up with Simon Orchard.
This is your home of the Greyhound Good Oil, Great GREYS.
Where it's now 19 minutes away from 11 in the west. Time to get across and catch up with our great mate Simon Orchard. A huge few days of chasing to look forward to across there in New South Wales, of course, at the Gardens on Saturday night. We've got the big one, the 7:15. It is the richest staying race anywhere in the world, and can't wait for it. It's drawn together an outstanding bunch of stayers, and the man that will be joining us to tell us all about the big feature race and how he sees it unfolding is with us now in Simon Orchard. I think I might have gone a day late too. I think it's Friday night there it grabs the spotlight. Welcome to you, Simon.
Yeah, g'day, Shorty. You're right. Friday night, tomorrow night here in God's country, mate, the running of the 7:15, the third edition of the $500,000 race. I've actually just stepped out of a sportsman's lunch in Calcutta, Shorty. We've just got underway here in the beautiful city of Newcastle. We've got some special guests, Mark Waugh, Paul the Chief Harrigan, Jimmy Cassidy's here as well. Looking forward to a big afternoon of fun and frivolity. And then tomorrow night we head straight into that 7:15. I'll tell you what, Shorty, it's going to be hard to top the storylines of the last couple of years. Miss Esme, of course, winning it in year one after Marie Smith's car broke down 3 hours away from the Garden. She got a hitchhiker to pick her up and drag her to the to the track, and she won $500,000. And last year, the photo finishes of all photo finishes between Zipping Orlando and Nangar Rocket, Dennis Ann Barnes, so close to the $500,000, but it was Minnie Finn singing Sweet Caroline down the straight. Hopefully this year, another wonderful story will unfold tomorrow night at the Gardens, my friend.
Indeed, and we've got dogs from all over Australia that have congregated there in Newcastle, the Steel City. Having a quick look at the market on the feature, Valpolicella, the Queenslander at $2.30. The Tasmanian Raiders guide on the second line at $2.90 was stunning in its heat win last week. Kenya Amy's been going great guns for Dave Smith, a $6 chance. Ritzer Piper at $7.50. Like Wildfire for Pete Lagogiani at $10. We've got Redeemer Blue, the Victorian Visitor at $15. Simrap Explode at $34 and Might Have Been at $41. Gee, there's some nice stayers in this one.
Yeah, you're spot on, mate. Look, it looks like a race in two on paper at least, with Raiders Guide and Valpolicella fighting it out all week for favouritism. I guess the only two knocks I've got on those dogs, Valpolicella, Tony Zammit said the dog doesn't like being kennelled up for a long time. Race 9 on the program, 10-10 tomorrow night. He said that's the only thing against his bitch, so I've got to take that for what it's worth. And then Raiders Guide, how will it back up after its first 700-metre run last week in its history of racing? I think it's had 50-odd starts. Only once it's gone over the distance. We know it can knock a dog around second up, so it's got to back up, and it's also got to throw in that trip back to Tassie and back up here to Newcastle. So take that for what it's worth as well. I like Kenya Amy, Shorty. You touched on it, going great guns for Dave Smith. Really timed her run to perfection. She was really strong in the heat. She's a Group 1 Association Cup runner-up behind Palawar King and taking ground off him late in the piece there. And Dave Smith knows how to train a stayer, had Super Estrella, prim and proper. He can get the dog peaking at the right time, and she's my tip at the better odds to take out the 7:15 tomorrow. And like Wildfire reckons the value, who knows what he will do, Shorty? That's the big question. Enigmatic was thrown around by Pete Lagagiani on radio this morning. At his best, he could get to the front and absolutely tear them apart, but it's a matter of what he's going to do on the night. But at around $11, you could have a little each-way saver on Like Wildfire as well, mate.
Absolutely. They're just about ready here for the 4th at Warrnambool. We'll take that and come back with more thoughts from Simon Orchard.
Tab.
You are tuned into Shorty and the team on Great GREYS.
Well, we're catching up with Simon Orchard. Simon, I'll throw back to you and you can talk us through your key plays over the next few days where there's chasing all over New South Wales.
Yeah, appreciate that, Shorty. Wish I could offer a bit more value to the punters today, but maybe there's some multiple options here. Casino, race 9, number 2, Spirit Boy. As I mentioned, short but sweet, but think can get the job done on the big circle up there. That's 9-2, Spirit Boy. At Maitland tonight, there's a bunch of shorties on the program, but 8-3, Beers and Banter in the spirit of the afternoon. I think that's worth a play as well. And then tonight at Dapto, 10-5, Anxious Lass. They're all about odds on, so as I said, maybe one to throw. A couple of throwing some multiples. If you want to have a bet over the next couple of days, we mentioned the Gardens tomorrow, the 7:15. I like Kenya Amy. It's race 9, number 7. I like Wildfire as the best value. And then Saturday night, Shorty, such is the quality of greyhound racing in New South Wales. We've got 2 Group 3 events, the Ladies Bracelet and the Bob Payne Sprint. I like Camilla Keeping, race 6, number 1, to take out the Ladies Bracelet for Shane Stiff and Shemaine Roberts. And then race 8, number 2, I'm taking on Megatron, and I'm going with Overflow Bow. Maybe it's a bit of recency bias off the back of the heat performance last week, but I know Craig Chapelot has a big opinion of this dog. He's boxed pretty well. Just got to beat Zipping Megatron to the first bend. So 6-1 and 8-2, the best bets on Saturday night's program at Wenty Park.
Beautifully done. Very, very professional as always, Simon. Great catching up with you. I'll let you get back to the lunch and having a great time. Sounds like a wonderful time to be there in Newcastle. Enjoy that and make sure that you don't get too parched there. Keep the fluids up on an afternoon like this one, and we'll catch up with you next Thursday.
Yeah, appreciate it. If you did in 4 hours, it'd be a different story. Thanks, mate.
Good man. There we have it. Simon Orchard. Sounds like they're having an absolute ball there, and as they should be in the countdown to the 7:15, the richest staying event in world chasing. We've got only a minute to go until race number 2 jumps here at Wyong over the 1,300 metres. Matty, punters have certainly got it down to a race in 2.
This is your home of the Greyhound Good Oil. Great Greys.
Time to round out the program with a chat to the Shane Train Williams on this Thursday morning. Hello, Train.
Yeah, g'day, Shorty. How are you? Hello, listeners. Just got in the door, mate, from trials, and we had a little bit of precipitation, which I haven't seen for a while. Very unusual.
Indeed. How did the trials go this morning? You've got some pretty exciting pups there out of Ripon, Memphis, who, of course, was a star from your kennel in recent years. Any of those going around this morning?
Yeah, a couple of them went around, Shorty, and they all improved from last week. So, yeah, very happy, onwards and upwards. And looks like they're going to be ready to go just when Kennington shuts. So we have to make a few adjustments and maybe head up to Northam and try them at Mandurah as well. So, but, yeah, really looking forward to them. They're very promising, a few of them. So, yeah, can't wait.
Excellent. For those that are unaware, we heard from Pete Howe this morning on the Sports Daily with Tim and Digby. Only about 3 weeks left of Cannington in the full rotation, and then the track will be out of play for approximately 4 months. We'll be down to 6 meetings a week. 2 of them will be at Northam, and the other 4 will be at Mandurah. Northam's will be on a Monday and a Thursday, the remaining of those days at Mandurah. Let's get your thoughts, speaking of Mandurah, of the program tonight there. I thought it was a nice card, a few pretty strong opportunities for the punters to get involved this evening. Who do you like there, Mandurah, this evening for Thursday night chasing?
Yeah, I thought it was a bit of a tricky card, Shorty. I'm just going to put the front foot out and the bat out and the pad out and just play a bit defensive tonight. But I thought race 5, number 1, Jaycin Campbell, got its chance here, Shorty. It's a very open race. I just like this dog finally drawn near the rail, and you go back a couple of runs, it's been running 6:30 early, which I think might be quick enough to hold up and lead here. So Jaycin Campbell there for the Cookie Monster in race 5. And then, Shorty, race 6, number 7, China Pan. It's big odds. It's $12 or $13. Been running really good races from inside draws, and it's much better suited out wide. So I'm going to have a little play each way there at $13, race 6, number 7, China Panda. So 5, 1 and 6, 7 tonight at Mandurah.
All righty, moving on to Friday night chasing. Of course, it is Mandurah Oaks night, cracking field there, but a good program. Who have you come up with for the punters?
Yeah, it's a really good meeting at Mandurah, Shorty. I think a lot of dogs now are going to start heading there, obviously, as we just heard. There's going to be some city racing there on a Saturday night, so there's a few dogs getting geared up for some meetings that are going to be at Mandurah in the not-too-distant future. I'm going to kick it off. There's 2 heats of this race, Shorty, and I'm going to tip one in each heat. Race 4, number 5, Rare Speed. A dog trained by Cody Charles, loves the circuit, Shorty. Was well back last start in that hot 380 race. Didn't get any luck at all. I think much better suited back to Mandurah. So race 4, number 5, Rare Speed. And then the very next race, the very next heat, Shorty, again, another race with a lot of depth. I'm just going to have something each way on Denny Heffernan, race 5, number 2. I think he's well placed drawn down near the rails. He's a dog that gets back and runs on, and he'll be charging home at the end of it. So, I think he'll be big odds, Shorty, race 5, number 2. So happy to play them 2 on Friday night, 4, 5 and 5, 2.
He'll be nice and strong late, Denny Heffernan there, race 5, number 2. On to Cannington on Saturday night.
Yeah, Kennington Saturday, Shorty. I really like this dog, Shorty. Race 7, number 2, Malfetta Cruz. I think he's a bit underrated, this dog. And forgetting he went around last week, he just got knocked over at the start. But any luck today, Saturday, and he can find the arm, Shorty, we'll see this dog run some sections. I think Malfetta Cruz is the next litter to Granite Song and my old boy Ripon Tomahawk. And I've followed him ever since he first started, and I think he's just putting it all together, this dog. So race 7, number 2, Molfetta Cruz. And then we'll move over to race 10, number 8, dog that was good to us last week, Shorty, Passing Cloud. Just the fact Jamie's dog's drawn down there and won, and it doesn't really want to be there, wants to be drawn wide. So it could take advantage again, this dog, and pinch a break on it mid-race and be too strong late. So 7-2 and 10-8 on Saturday.
All right, and who's the best from the kennel over the next few nights?
Yeah, best from the kennel, Shorty. We've got a few good chances this weekend. There's a lot of dogs drawn well. I'm hoping they can run well. I thought the same last week, and we had a bit of a blackout. But I'm going to tip race 8, number 8, on Saturday night at Kennington, Speedy Journey. She's back from a little freshen up. Her trials have been sensational, Shorty, and she's well drawn wide. Dog in 7's got speed, so hopefully it brings her over nice, and she's nice and strong late. She's out where she wants to be. She's happy to be 3 and 4 dogs off the fence. So Speedy Journey, I'm looking for her to return in fine fashion on Saturday night, Shorty.
All right, she does have that excellent wide draw record. Go Genie on Saturday night, race 8, the Fairy Floss Rug there. And we want to give a bit of a shout out today to a fine man who's been excellent in plugging the greyhounds as pets in Damien Martin. He's been one of WA Sport's favourite sons since coming across from New South Wales. We've adopted him here in the West, and he's done a magnificent job in helping to promote greyhounds as pets as our ambassador for the month of April.
Oh, what a legend, Shorty. Found out he's from my neck of the woods back home, Penrith boy. So what he's done for this industry, and it's not just from me, I think this is on behalf of the whole industry, Shorty. He's done a tremendous job ambassadoring as the greyhounds pets for the month of April. I think he's got a lot of dogs to find their forever homes. So we're forever thankful for Damien for doing such a wonderful job, and no doubt we hope he can butter up next year and go again. And I'm actually shares in a horse with Damo, so when it gets to the track, I'm going to have to buy him a few beers, I think, Shorty.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure he'll gleefully accept those, but he is a wonderful man, Damien Martin. He's done an excellent job as the ambassador for greyhounds as pets. So good luck to everybody that have been involved and gone and adopted a greyhound in recent times and brought them into their families. You've got a very special companion. That is for sure and certain when you take home a greyhound as a pet. Beautifully done, Shano. Appreciate your time as always. Good luck over the next few days, and as always, with all of your kennel runners.
Thanks, mate. We'll catch up soon. Great, man. See you, mate.
Sounds good. There we have it. The Shane Train Williams just rounding it out on the show today. I quite like this program tonight at Mandurah. I thought there were a few at decent odds that could run well. Starting off race 4, number 4, Scientist. Just love this dog when it drops to grade 5 or below and gets to this level. Look, it's not a walk in the park. There's some nice dogs, and the kennel mate in box 2, King Hutch, is potentially the fly in the ointment for Scientists, but I've just got a golden rule. When this dog drops to this grade and draws sort of 4 in, I bet up. So I'll be with it tonight. Race 4, number 4, Scientist. Thought in race 6 it was 2 key chances, 2 Hopeland and 4 Rio Harlow. They look a nice Quinella. I think Hopeland at the better odds. Just going to spec it there. Race 6, number 2. Later on into the program, race 8, number 4, Remember Luigi, is well placed in this grade. This is not a super strong lineup. I think Remember Luigi can bob up around that $4 mark. In race 9, number 8, Ahana Sit Down for Tony Scott. This dog was most impressive, running sub 17 last time out. Should get room to zoom out there on the track. If it reproduces that time, they won't know which way it's gone. And into the last, sticking with Aussie Singman. Gee, I like this dog. He's a top 2 player. He runs a lot of placings, doesn't always win a lot of races, but I thought he'd run top 2. I thought Examiner and Molotov Boy were the 2 dogs you could play around with Aussie Singman in exactas, with Aussie Singman running 1st and 2nd with Examiner and Molotov Boy. They look the key ways. I think we can make a few bucks out of the race that way. That is us done and dusted on this Thursday, the 2nd of May with Great Greys. Appreciate your company as always. A huge thank you to Matty McDermott, who's been a lead as always there at Tab Radio headquarters. To everybody tuned in, make sure you're with us again tomorrow morning between 9 and 10, Chasing Winners, where I'll be teaming up with Peter O'Neill and Jesse Earnshaw. And don't forget, on Friday afternoon, the mail collection. That's all in store over the next couple of days. Thank you, Matty, as always, and good luck, punters, for the remainder of your Thursday.